All right, everybody, welcome. So today is July 1st, 2020. I just learned it's Canada Day. It is also day in the middle of the summer, in the middle of an flaring up pandemic again, like we've never seen, and under very different conditions than it was in the beginning, because we kind of sort of know what we're doing right now. We're just not right. It's not that this hits us unprepared or anybody, nobody knows what's going on or what's going to happen. But it's happening, and a lot of other things are happening too, and it's weird and disconcerting and worrisome on many levels. People, I think, are processing this in a different way than we processed it when we first were exposed to the fact that something's happening that is beyond our control on some level. Before we do anything else, you all know that the call is being recorded, and if you don't want to be recorded, then mute yourself and don't, turn on your camera. Otherwise, I will put this up on Facebook and, probably my website or something like that. So it will be out there, and you guys are okay with that, and you all have signed my agreement that I'm not a psychologist and this is not therapy. So that being said, it's been a while, and where are you at? What's going on for you? How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty all right nowadays. I heard about my friend Juan, and he's doing well.
Okay.
I was very, very worried about the man.
Was it the person whose hand you shook?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell everybody the story, Rich?
Oh yeah, I meet up with an older gentleman, 85 years old, in a park. We walk our dogs together. Then we sit down on a bench and have a conversation and talk dogs and politics and such like that. And we were getting ready to depart, and he was having a little bit of a tough time getting up off the bench. So I reached out to give him a hand up. And I thought, once I returned, I thought, oh my God, did I slip up? And I hadn't seen Juan for 2 weeks now, but somebody has recently, so that's good. And he's doing well. But those little lapses, those little human gestures, handshakes and pats on the back and such like that are so dangerous nowadays.
If you're infected.
Yes.
And I think that's really something we're trying to figure out right now. Differently than it used to be. It used to be that everybody was protecting themselves from the virus, and now we're protecting ourselves from ourselves in a way.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it's and where does this lead us, right? I mean, are we not supposed to be nice anymore? Can we not give somebody a hug?
True enough.
How do we live?
Yeah. And I always have a small bottle of hand sanitizer in my pocket. We wear our masks.
Yeah.
But we have our lapses as well.
Right. And the question is, what do you do? How are we going to live? What comes up for you as you say that?
Just be more mindful of interactions with our fellow man.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob.
What I noticed too is that nobody even wants to make eye contact anymore. We're not only are we staying away with a mask, and I'm trying to smile underneath the mask, but people look away. It's like we're cooties. And it doesn't feel good. There's like, you kind of can tell if somebody's smiling, and there's been, for me, a lot of politeness. You go first, or thank you very much. I mean, somebody picked up my oranges from the grocery store. He had a mask on, and all these oranges were falling down. And, so a lot of kindnesses, but it just seems that Yeah, there's such a distance, and there's this somehow embarrassment of, oh, I'm wearing this mask and I don't want to look in your eyes. And that's a
I
bit,
think the other way around sometimes. I think, the judgment between people wearing masks and people who don't is
oh,
every
yeah.
mask, and that's just frustrating.
Yeah.
When somebody doesn't wear one, and you wonder who do you need to wear a mask right now? I mean, that's me probably more. I'm very outspoken about the mask for good reason. But they are not a no-brainer over here. They're a statement about so much more. They're a political statement. They're a personal statement. They're a I have my First Amendment, rights and whatever other bullshit is coming in. It's I don't know how else to call it. I mean, this is not no shorts, no shirt, no service. I mean, it's that level. It's not anything other than a piece of clothing that you're supposed to put on your face, period. But it's not that in this country. So does that make sense? Is that your experience? What are we going to tap on? We need to tap on this stuff, because ultimately, in our small group here, we want to find a way to continue to live, right? And to do it in a way that feels right and that feels empowered and that feels safe to us.
There's like two different, I mean, this is truly Civil War type stuff. It's, there's one people that say, I'm wearing this to keep you safe, please wear yours because we're all important. And then you got the others saying, I have my rights and nobody's going to make me do anything I don't want to, and I don't know how you ever bridge that gap. I mean, it didn't happen in the Civil War and it's not happening now.
In other countries, it's a no-brainer, which is why Americans are not allowed in it. Other countries don't have that problem. They just don't behave that way. They don't feel like
privileged somehow.
This is not a privilege. Every country has I don't know why Americans always think that they have the right to speak out and nobody else does. That's bullshit. There's some countries where you can't speak out. Most of them you actually can. Go to Denmark, go to Sweden, go to Spain, go to Italy, go to any country in Europe. And yes, you speak out. Yes, you have rights. Yes, you have health insurance. Yes, you can send your kids to school. This is not an American right by any shape. Not at all. None of the things that we're so proud of over here is something that is unique to America at all. Not at all. It is not an American thing. It is just what everybody's doing over there. And I don't know where the idea comes from that it's different. It's not.
Yes, I agree.
It's really, I mean, it's like I have the right to speak. There are demonstrations all over the world. They all have the right to, everybody has the right to speak with the exception of a few countries. So thinking that this is a privilege and it's a right that I have or that somebody has as a birthright of being born in a country or whatever is not true. Is it worth defending? Yes, it is, but it is not unique to the United States in any shape, right? But what other countries have learned because they had wars on their own soil is that there are situations where you can't go about your life as usual because it's not usual, right? Bridget understands that. So anyway, I'm here. Outspoken.
When I went to France, I mean, I had encounters there. Well, I struggle, with my poor French, il tombe, I dropped my ticket, and right next to me, there's a guy who says, oh, for God's sake, speak English. I mean, he's pushy attitude that we have that I don't understand. And that's why other countries hate that kind of thing. And rightfully they should.
Everybody's different, but I think we need to figure out how to work together right now. And I think people are learning the consequences, and there's the consequences of doing something wrong. And maybe it's humbling. I don't know. I mean, my opinion may not be yours, so I'm just gonna shut up here. And I just see Sally is there, Jen is there, and Bill is back. Hey, Bill. Linda's here. So we just had a little basic conversation about, it's just conflicted. It's just everybody has a different opinion, or it feels like they need to talk about it differently. And ultimately, since this is an EFT call, I think we need to just come to terms with that's our reality right now. Right? Where are you at? What are your thoughts? How do you want to feel about this? Is there a solution that you would like to work towards? Is there something that triggers you? And let's just start tapping, because we can.
Well, let's just tap on the freedom to take care of ourselves and not worry about what other folks do, and accept the new reality, because it's going to last for possibly years.
Something has changed, and we need to be
Yes.
okay with that change. But the world has changed, and that's neither good nor bad. It's just how it is.
Yes, indeed. And the virus is
Who's this, honey? Who's this coming in?
Hey, Bill, we can hear you. Just letting you know. Your voice. Yeah. Okay. So, why don't we just get started and figure this out? I don't know. Who wants to? Do you want me to tap with one of you, or do you want to do this as a group? Why don't we just do it as a group and just see? And if you don't want to, you know how to mute yourself if you want to, and we'll just figure it out. I don't know. Okay.
Ingrid, doesn't it have to do with, in order to be as peaceful as we can, is to just accept even what we don't like. I mean, when I see people without masks, yes, I do judge, and I keep thinking, why don't you put a mask on, for God? But then I try to say, Barb, that's not you, back up. And so tapping on acceptance of what is, and I don't know if that's something or not.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And everybody has to make their own decisions. And I see somebody without a mask, I go 10 steps back, and if I see 4, I leave the store.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Jen. We can't see you though. Do you have a
Yeah.
camera you can turn on?
Yeah, but I don't want to put it on. I have to say something about people not wearing masks. We're dealing with a life or death situation here. Okay. So people driving drunk, that's considered very, not cool. And there's, legal ramifications. It's the same thing with, if you go without a mask, you're, endangering other people. It's more than just, oh, well, it's their choice and their freedom. When we're talking about a matter of life or death. So if you use that analogy, then, would it be wrong to have legislation saying that it's mandated? I don't know. It's something to consider.
And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is something that's very easy to get into a very strong emotional argument about.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that? And
Yeah.
well,
I've been ill since March 16th. I've had 3 tests, and they've all come back negative, so they don't know what's going on with me. But when I have to go to the doctor and I see people without masks, it alarms me. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So maybe there is a part of us when we are in this situation, and let me just see if when we're in this situation, from an EFT point of view, there is very often one of the problems is that there's part of us that says, I'm right. And a sort of period. I know I'm right. I'm going to argue with you. I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to make sure that you understand. At the end of the day, what it really does is it works us down to the bone. Because we know we're right and we're still not getting our right. We have to realize that as well, right? I mean, we can even come into a complete agreement. We can even, we could even have somebody in here to totally disagrees, and and with whatever the opinion is, and change that person's mind. It wouldn't make a difference, right? So what is really important for us to have peace of mind is to let go of that trigger of, I know I'm right.
I think it's based on fear, and I realize that it's a fear-based, value, and so I do want to work on that. Yeah.
There is a place to this, and I really wanted to start this out a little bit because I think there is a place, there is a real threat, and then there is a, what if there was a real threat and you would do what you're doing right now, kind of a thing, right? And they are different, and let's just figure this out. Okay, so here's how we do this. EFT. So no matter where you guys stand with whatever your opinion is right now, tune into this feeling of I'm right. I know I'm right. I can prove it. I have all the reasons why. I have either the data or the human rights or the medical situation or the, I know somebody who needs this. It doesn't matter, right? Just tune into this thing at this moment when you know just deep inside, look, I'm right. You guys feel that?
Yes.
Yeah. Where do you feel this physically? Where do you feel this in your body?
Is that addressed to me?
And no, it's addressed to the whole.
Oh, okay. All right.
It is addressed to you. It's
Oh, yeah. Well, I totally understand. Yeah, and I accept that, and that's what I'm saying. I'm open to that.
Yeah, but I think Barbara wants to say something.
Yeah, Ingrid, I'm in a different place. I feel just nothing but total sadness that people don't care about one another. And I, somehow the anger's not there anymore. It's more that,
but
can't you see? I feel like helpless, and so much compassion for the fact that they can't see the union that's there.
But you believe they don't see the union.
I do believe that. Yeah.
And it may not be so.
Okay.
You believe you're right.
Okay.
You believe that's what I'm saying. People are in different places. Some people interpret it differently, but there is this moment of thinking, I have a point of view about this. And I believe this point of view to be valid enough to hold on to it and get really emotional about it.
Okay.
Whatever that is, right? So for you, it's compassion and sadness and whatever. For somebody else, it may be you don't give a shit about me. For somebody else, it may be, and I'm sure you're eating meat too. Who knows, right? You fart in public. I don't know. You know what I mean, right? So hold on to this feeling and
Yeah, comfortable.
and then we just take it from there. Okay, so karate chocolate. Even though here I am, and I know I'm right, and I know this is not okay. Where they're at is not okay. What they're doing is not okay for me. They need to change. And then not for themselves, then at least for me, for God's sake. This is not okay. And I can prove it. And I'm angry about that. Or maybe sad. I am emotional about this. There's something that makes me very emotional and very attached to my thoughts and beliefs. I'm actually also very attached to what I believe to know about this. I'm really attached to believing what I know about this. And I deeply and completely accept who I am.
But
even that, I'm just going to mute everybody because this is really probably easier right now. Hold on a second. You guys can all unmute yourself if you want to, okay? But this is just easier. Okay, even though here I am, and I'm right. I know I'm right. I can prove that I'm right. There's science that says that I'm right. It's not my opinion. It's everybody's opinion. Everybody should know that I'm right. I'm not making this up. I can prove it. People told me they know a lot more than me. And the truth is that this might trigger me more deeply than I'm willing to admit. And even though things happened, and they did happen, and some of them might be tragic, some of them might be heartbreaking. Maybe even my worst predictions came true. So I know even more that I'm right. Because I saw it coming and they didn't listen to me. I warned about it and they didn't take action. I told them what will happen and they kept doing what they did, and here we're in it, and now we're all stuck in it together. And a part of me might even feel that I'm paying a price for their nonsense. Either physically or emotionally or mentally or in my lifestyle. Because of them not listening to me and knowing that I'm right, I have to live this way. And that's frustrating. It might trigger me. And it might even fill me with a lot of resentment and a lot of personal anger towards people that I don't even know. But I am right. I saw it coming. I talked about it. I tried to change it. I used my words and it didn't matter. I tried to make a difference in the way that I can. And I'm still right. And it didn't make a difference. And I don't know how to deal with that. It bothers me. It frustrates me. It actually scares me. Because this is all I've got. This is all I know how to do. And if that isn't enough, then what is enough? Am I safe? Even if people don't listen to me? Am I safe? Even if people continue to make mistakes? Am I safe? Even if I'm right and it doesn't matter? How am I going to deal with this? With this new reality? That somebody else's actions can put me or somebody I care about into danger. Take a breath. How did this feel? And you guys can unmute yourself if you want to. I can unmute you too, but
It felt good to just say it.
which part felt good, Jen? Jen, no.
The part of saying, I told them and they didn't listen. You know, that's sort of been a pattern for me to go. So now it's just, yep, that happened. And now where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Though actually there were some things that I did before it started of information that I spread to people who weren't aware yet. And there were a few things I did that were helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as turning the whole country around, didn't happen.
Didn't happen, did it? Yeah. So if that didn't happen, the question is if it's on our agenda, right? How do other people feel about this? Did you notice any? I mean, clearly this was just an introductory tapping here. People react differently. It may or may not do anything for you. How do you feel? What comes up? Yeah, Bob.
So, Ingrid, what it triggered for me was the helplessness. I mean, this is about COVID, but I lived with an alcoholic for 14 years.
Mm.
And it was the same thing. I cared deeply, but I couldn't do anything.
Right.
A lot of the, you know, I had to learn, and I'm not so sure successfully, how to let go with love. And it's like, so this issue is way more. This, I'm right, and don't you get it? I'm trying to save your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really what this does for a lot of people. I mean, this is why some people behave like toddlers right now, right? Like seriously, like it doesn't matter. I want what I want and I want it now, and tomorrow doesn't exist, and and throw themselves on the floor and throw a tantrum. It's really brings up old stuff. And it's nice to know the difference between what's actually real right now and what is old stuff that's being brought up through this situation, and separate the two of them and find our own place in this, because we will have to live with this for a long time. And there are ways out, I mean, there are lots and lots of things that people can do. They just have to do them, right? And when I say people, I don't mean everybody out there that we don't know, but the person that we know the best. We can all find ways to keep ourselves safe. Everybody here on this call can find ways to keep themselves safe. They may have to make some changes they don't want to do, but if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. Right? Good. Karate chop on, even though I've been helpless before. And I hated it.
I hate it.
I hate that feeling of helplessness.
I hate the feeling of helplessness.
God damn it, just listen to me.
Just listen to me.
I have a brain. Which part of this is killing you is hard to understand. This is not okay. And I'm triggered by that. And I'm scared for you. And I'm scared for myself. I'm freaking out right now. Because if this is hard to understand, then what else do you not get? What else is there? And I'm just gonna acknowledge that this is not the first time I felt this way. And even though the truth might be that I'm a victim of the situation, and there is even less I can do about it than I thought I could. And I don't know how to live with that. I don't know if it's okay to live with that. I don't know if it's okay to give up hope. I've been there before, and it was not okay. And I'm just going to honor that grief, or that sadness, or that frustration. Here I am. And for the purpose of this tapping, I just call it frustration. It may be something very different. But I'm just going to own that that's how I feel. I feel this so deeply right now. Gosh, this is a big deal for me. This deep, deep frustration. This deep and desperate frustration. Why are you not listening to me? Why are you not making changes? Listen, damn it. It doesn't have to be this way. I know it doesn't have to be this way. I can prove it doesn't have to be this way. Because I'm not doing what you're doing. And I'm doing much better than you. So why don't you take it from me? I clearly seem to have something you're missing. It breaks my heart. It breaks my spirit. You make me angry and frustrated. And it might even be that you make me unsafe as well. And even though it might also be that you make me less unsafe than I thought you would. Because I can make choices about your actions. I can leave. I can go. I can let this go, and I can let you go. I can make choices. You can't make my choices for me. But it's frustrating to me that your actions may force me to make choices that without you I would never have to make. And that's not fair. It's not fair that you have that power over me. And I'm just going to acknowledge that with kindness and compassion. Take a breath. And let's just unmute everybody. And yeah, how are you doing? Where are you at with this round? Just get back on the phone. I can't unmute you. You have to do that yourself.
Better. Feeling better.
Okay, good. What's coming up for everybody else? See, this is the deep stuff. We're clear on that, right? This is not the happy
Oh
part.
yeah.
This is the part where the rubber hits the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we're just gonna go into that with open hearts right now and just try to figure this out. Okay? And you're welcome. Because nobody does that alone. Which is why we're all standing on the street corner bitching. So talk to me. Where are you at?
I'm realizing a couple of things. I'm in the high risk group. If I get COVID, it's not going to be pretty.
Right.
And I'm not old, but I'm high risk because of existing issues. And in some ways, because I'm an introvert and because of my existing health issues, lockdown's not really that new to me. Except usually in the summer, I'm better. And usually in the summer, I can get out, build up and get better. And then I get sick again around September. So it's had an impact. And I'm realizing more and more, this is like one of the issues I'm dealing with. Also, I'm dealing with a bee problem in my apartment. What I'm realizing more and more, I've been saying for a long time, the planet needs a kindness revolution. We are past due. And in some ways, I am moved to tears when I see the kindness. There is such kindness. At the same time, I have to step back because I'm a hugger. I adore animals, but I can't touch animals. When I do go out, and I don't go out as much as I need to, and I need to change that because and the exercise. But I can't touch animals right now. I can't hug them. I have to keep a distance from people. I cannot hug people. And what I'm realizing more and more is the kindness revolution has to start with me. It's easier for me to be kind to everyone but me. And it's making me realize, oh yeah, maybe this is one of the reasons I have ME/CFS and all the other issues that I'm dealing with. Because I drive myself, I push myself, I will stay up to help others. And I'm realizing, okay, I can't count on anyone else to be respectful. They're in their own little world, their own little bubble. I can't expect it. And when I see it, I'm grateful and it's wonderful. But this is making me see more and more, I better start taking care of me. Because it's no one else's responsibility. It never was. Well, it was my parents, and they didn't do a very good job when I was a child, but I'm not a child anymore. I'm no longer a child. So I can't count on anyone else to wear a mask, physically distance, not congregate at beaches. It's crazy. I'm in Canada, and the province I'm in, we're slowly, making it easier for people to get back to having a life pre-COVID, and people are screwing up. Oh man, are they screwing up? The city I'm in, Toronto, we're not there yet because we have more cases here, more cases and more deaths. So just as I predicted, people from Toronto are going to other places, to nail salons, and the outbreaks are happening because of people coming from Toronto going to other cities. And a part of me knew this would happen. I predicted, and a part of me is going, I can't do it. I need to take care of me. I need to take care of my stress levels. I need to take care of my health issues, because if I'm in a better place, I can do more good in the world. And it's nobody else's. People are where they are. But I really think the kindness revolution, I'm realizing this just today, actually, it starts with me. And if I'm not kind to me, and if I'm not able to show that and provide others with that, it's easy for me to go like this, but that's not doing any good. But it is frustrating, because if you're at high risk, you are vulnerable. And people know that if you're over 80, you're more vulnerable. There are people over 80 who are in better health than me. I know somebody in Spain, and their lockdown in Spain is unbelievable compared to what we are doing here in Canada and what's happening in the US. They had curfews. They have all kinds of things we don't have here. But she's in better shape than me. She goes for walks every day. So it begins with taking care of ourselves. We can't change anyone else. We can show by example. We can provide them with truth, but we can't change them. And that's a hard one. That's a really hard one, because others will die because of their lack of cooperation.
You won't.
Sorry?
You won't.
I'm trying to
If they
do my
don't
best
want
here.
to cooperate, it doesn't mean you're gonna die. It means they're gonna die. Or not. And we don't know that.
Yeah.
And whatever that is a place outside of your circle of influence. So here's a food for thought. I heard you say, I can't hug, I can't do this. First of all, I learned how to hug like this. This is my hug. And it's been for a while. And if I really want to hug, I hug like that. And I always do this. This is a total, I'm a big hugger, right? But it's really, I feel like when I look at somebody and I do this, they do the same thing, and it does feel the same. Unless you officially choose that you don't want it to feel this way, because now we're resentful and we don't want it, and it's not that we can't hug. If you do this, there's a lot of energy going on. And if two people do this together, just try this for a sec. Just do this. And by the way, can you switch your camera down just a little bit? Yeah.
And my kitty cat is here.
Oh, that's good.
Just
So if you do this, you will feel that. You will feel the other person, and already what the rest of it is. So that's a decision, right? The other thing I heard you say is, I have to take care of my health. I have to take care of not getting sick. I am a high risk group. That's all negative. You actually have to take care of being happy, not of not being sick. You got to do whatever the hell you need to do to be happy in this life. Not to not get sick and make sure that nobody else does. That is your responsibility, and I'm not sure you've even focused on that yet. Okay? It is a beautiful thing. Life is cheap, right? Because nobody's going out for lunches and dinners yet, right? Everybody is at home, which means you can't connect and do this, right? There's a whole bunch of things you can do. You are in charge of making yourself happy. Not making yourself not sick, or whatever that negative thing is. Does that make sense? And I get you on the high risk thing, but at the same time, that also gives you the freedom to say, hell no, I'm not going to go to the restaurant. Spending yesterday was my birthday. We had a pizza party. We had 3 frozen pizzas, and we took like an hour to set up the buffet, right? 3 people. Stupid. Candles everywhere. I should show you. Why? Because why not? Right? Because candles make me happy, and a buffet makes me happy. And if all we have is pizza, then that's what goes on the buffet. Right? And a really good bottle of champagne, I must say.
What was this?
A very good bottle of champagne. So yeah, So $3 pizza and a $50 bottle of champagne. That was a good one. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I might as well have fun. So that's what I'm saying. You know, your next step, my love, is to make you happy. And a story, period. Everything else is just groundwork. Do what makes you happy. So your parents sucked. Anybody on this call? Anybody whose parents sucked?
Yep.
I'm honestly serious. I know some of you guys. And some of you know me a little bit, maybe not. Anybody whose parents did a really awesome job and everything was perfect and it was just the peaches and you would never abandon, never let down, never kick to the curb, never ignore it, never hurt your feelings, never kick that out of the house, never, you know, that's normal. It sucks, but it's not personal. It's just people screwing up in a very big way, but it's your responsibility to make yourself happy. When you use every day, you find one thing that's really fun and sweet and it's easy. It's not the big changes like make everybody be nice now, right? It's not gonna work. But finding a nice person on every day, making a conscious decision that every day you will have a conversation with a kind person. That's 365 kind people a year. Find them. Find a way to do that. Allow people to be kind. Just like kids can do. They look at somebody and they just have the big blue eyes and then people are saying, oh, aren't you cute? Right? Make them be kind to you. You're an interesting character. You're an interesting woman. You have a story. You have all these things. Make people be kind to you. And not because we're victims of anything, but because they feel like, yeah, you know, when you're just around, it's a good thing. Love that. Does that make sense? How does it feel? And by the way, I just wanted to acknowledge you and tell you I was very impressed with everything you had to share. Thank you for doing that. I know that's a really big deal for you. And it shows me that you feel safe to talk here. So thank you for doing that.
You're the only group I use Zoom and have a camera on. I hate
know.
cameras big time.
You mentioned that. I was working on Jen to do the same thing, but she doesn't want to do that. Sorry, Jen, I had to say that. To hide, right? This is it. Mel, yeah.
I just wanted to say something to Judy, sort of say, I'm hugging you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Big
All right, so that's it for today. So you do that tomorrow too. That's it, you know, and even just explaining that to somebody, you know.
It's funny you saying that because I normally do that. Like when I go to restaurants, I always make a point of, you know, going up to the kitchen staff and saying, thank you. You know, you made this meal. It's amazing. Thank you. And I will do that. And I guess having been out of circulation, thank you for the reminder because it's so important to connect to people. Like it's important, you know, I purposely do not pay my bills online. I purposely do the phone calls so that A, people can keep their jobs. B, so, you know, they hear somebody who's being nice to them as opposed to just complain. And I'll say the reason I am calling is to make sure you can keep your job. I am doing this intentionally. And so thank you for the reminder because like I say, I'll go to restaurants and I'll do this and people get it. No matter what culture they're from, because I eat foods from different parts of the world, everyone gets it. It's a global thing. And and thank you, Nell.
You're welcome.
No, it means a lot to me. I mean, this group is important because I assume that it just from things that people are saying, well, I hate assuming, just from different things that people are saying, obviously people here have a heart and care, which is a good thing and can also be sometimes a heavy load to carry sometimes.
We can. We EFTers, what can I say? You have this is a very powerful group. It really is. And it's important to you know, so often we think we need to show up as our best. And look, and isn't that we expect the same thing from somebody else in a store? Like when you see me, you should wear your mask, wear your gloves, have the hand sanitizer all over you, and stay like 20 feet away. And if you don't do everything perfectly, I'm going to hate you because I think you kill me and you don't care about me. Isn't that a little, I mean, isn't that a little over the top when you think about it? It's my job to stay 6 feet away or 10. I don't believe in the 6. I think it's a lot more than 6, right? We know it's a lot more than 6. But that's my choice, not theirs, right? It's also my choice to run out of the store if I think it's not safe. But we expect people to be so perfect right now. And they're also scrambling. They're trying to figure this out. They're trying to, a lot of people are so afraid of their lives and they're so in it over their head that they don't even know what else to do. That's the only life they've ever lived. You may think like this, but some people have really only lived this kind of life, right? Going to restaurants, going to beaches, going to school, doing things, having a job, you know, that's all they've ever done. So they don't even know that's not all there is to do. They don't know what to do with themselves at home. They don't read, right? Or maybe they do, but you know what I mean? It's, so the kindness kind of comes from understanding that and at the same time taking 100% responsibility for our own safety. And maybe even more so. And not because they screw up, but because if I screw up, I'm making a mistake. I don't know if that makes sense. Again, I'm just blurting this out right now. You may completely disagree. So where we at? What do we want to tap on? What comes to mind? What do you disagree with?
Ingrid, one of the things, Judy, I also have a zillion illnesses and blah, blah, blah. And as we were tapping, I realized that I was angry at my body.
Yeah.
And that I was saying, why aren't you listening to me, damn it? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, and I'm still in pain, and da, 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 da. And I know that's not, it's COVID, but that just shows how deep this don't you get it is. And my head says, I know that I'm making myself sicker by doing that, being angry at my own body.
Stop. You don't know that.
I don't know that.
How do you know that you make yourself sicker by being angry at your body? Who says that?
Well, I feel the muscles go into contraction.
You feel that, but you don't know that.
I don't. That's true.
Right? There's a whole lot of things we don't know. I mean, and that's really what I know people who are very angry and very healthy. People as spiritual as make them as sick as a dog. So really, no, who says that? And that's really this thing, this assumption that we know.
No, yeah.
You don't know if you make yourself sicker. You don't know if you make yourself healthier. You don't even know if you're sicker, if this is just the way your body is. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't know that. I mean, if everybody believes they need to be a Lamborghini, then anything less than a Lamborghini is kind of right? But maybe that's just not what that is. Maybe we all run a different kind of vehicle in a different kind of a way. And maybe your body is just a body that needs a lot of attention and constant balance and all sorts of stuff. And that is very easy to tip over. It doesn't mean it's not working. It's just,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. You know, I'm a high risk group as well. So
yeah, I do know.
I hear you guys in every, you know, and today is a good day. Some days are not so good. And I get that. I totally get that. But I want to make sure we get under these ideas that certain things are set in stone. If I'm angry, I get sick. No, I don't. I get sick when I get sick. And when I get angry, when I get angry. And there may or may not be a connection. Right? Maybe being angry is the first time we're honest. Maybe being angry is the last time we're honest. Who knows? And yeah, I mean, and maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it does. But there is so much freedom and deciding what something means. You know, Judy, you said you're an introvert. So this should be perfect for you. You don't need to talk to anybody. Yay.
No, you did.
Yay.
I can go for today. What?
I mean, this is awesome, right? And for other people, it may be the opposite, but they are already on Zoom every day. I mean, I know some extroverts, so you can't get them
Every day. Oy.
right? And then anything in between. So, and I think that's where we need to get to figure out, what does this mean for me? What are my opportunities in this? Where can I go with this? Sally, what are your thoughts? I see you nodding over there and in deep thought sometimes. And do you want to say something?
Yeah, I've been trying to just view this time in lockdown as a kind of time of self-growth and trying to focus more on myself and take care of myself. So that's kind of where I am. I've been trying to just not kind of waste this time away, because I'm an introvert too. I could stay home all the time and be fine, but I really want to take this time and make it beneficial to me and make it, you know, some time where I spend time meditating and exercising and journaling and doing the things that are good for me.
And how's that working?
It's been so-so. I think I fall into little ruts of not being very motivated, and I think the world as it is right now in the pandemic kind of makes me feel like, why bother sometimes, and I think I hit that sometimes, and it kind of slows me down.
So it's not really the ideal situation for you.
No.
Is it bother feeling? Is it really the COVID though? Or is it COVID just bringing it out? Where do you live, Sally?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are on the downswing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they're opening up places again, and I'm still a little hesitant to go out very much though. But yeah, I think it's just the watching too much news and listening to too much of what's going on makes it overwhelming.
That's a good question, does it?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if it does, or if this is the way to deal with this right now.
Mm.
Being hyper alert is the way to stay safe.
Yeah.
Being hyper alert is the way to lose your mind once and for all. Right? We don't know, right? And I guess we can make that decision ourselves. So, which part of that is challenging for you then? What can we tap on? Anybody? Let me ask really quick in the you know, everybody else. Did others begin to see this as an opportunity? Then it kind of fell flat eventually because it stopped being a vacation. You know.
I still see it as an opportunity in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm another introvert too, so I'm mostly not missing being out and about.
So all these introverts, I'm an extrovert. Being in a country, you know, probably more remote than any of you. And I always hated that. And right now it's like, oh my God, this is why we moved here. And I've always told my husband, you know, I miss the city. I just grew up in a big city with the most artsy, the city of San Francisco. Like there was art everywhere all the time. And, you know, I always said, if push comes to shove, this is the place where you want to hunker down because we're 100% safe. We have our own water, we have our own well, we have our own whatever, you know, we have the fires and the fireplaces and the thing and the generator if need be, right? And I can shoot a turkey from my window if I have to get food. So it's really strange how these things come together. Where do we find our own freedom to live the next years? Right? So not because of COVID, not in spite of COVID, not because of people wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, not because we're mandated to do one thing or do the other, or because there's a punishment for something, but because this is our life now. Where do we find the freedom to live our life? The next years, the next 5 years, it's going to be different, right? So when what are we tapping on? What are we doing? Should we just tap on the socks? We can. Okay, Sally, you're it. Karate chop point, even though this sucks. And Sally, I can't hear you. Unmute yourself, honey. Everybody else can mute themselves and you unmute yourself, and then you and I tap on this. I think it's going to be good for other people to Judy. I think it's going to be good for you as well. Sally, even though
Even though
it sucks.
this sucks.
I thought I'm an introvert.
I thought I'm an introvert.
Be journaling.
It's great.
I thought I'm going to be doing all these good things for myself.
Thought I was going to be doing all these good things for
Good things
myself.
Now that I finally have the time.
Now that I finally have the time,
And I'm not.
and I'm not.
It's not what I thought it would be.
It's not what I thought it would be.
I'm kind of disappointed.
And I'm kind of disappointed.
I thought this would be my opportunity
I thought this would be my opportunity
to shine as an introvert and live the life I love.
to shine as an introvert and live the life I want.
And here I am.
But here I am,
Not so sure about the job that I'm doing,
not so sure about the job I'm doing.
but that is where I'm at right now.
That is why.
And even though I'm an introvert,
And even though I'm an introvert,
I really thought this would be easy.
I really thought this would be easy.
I can stay home all day long.
I can stay home all day long.
I can do so.
It's
As
cool.
long as there's food in the fridge, I'm all set. But it turns out
But it turns out
that it's just not that easy anyways.
that it's just not that easy.
I thought I would use this time for processing
I thought I would use this time for processing
and for inner growth.
and for inner growth.
And somehow I ran out of things to process
And somehow I ran out of things to process
in a way I wanted to.
in the way I wanted to.
Top of the head. This is frustrating.
This is frustrating.
Inside of the I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming.
I did not expect myself to react this way.
I did not expect myself to react this way.
I really thought it would be different.
I really thought it would be different.
I'd be journaling all day.
I'd be journaling all day.
And I'd be reading books and doing all the right things.
I'd be reading books and doing all the right things.
Here I am, and I'm not doing that.
Here I am, and I'm not doing that.
Not the way I thought I would.
Not the way I thought I would.
So what does this tell me about myself?
So what does this tell me about myself?
What does this tell me about my values
What does this tell me about my values
and my preferences
and my preferences
and my gifts
and my gifts
and my place in this life?
and my place in this life
Who I want to be.
and who I want to be?
I've lived for years thinking that if only I got a chance
I lived my life thinking if only I got a chance
to do the things I want to do,
to do the things I want to do,
everything would be different.
everything would be different.
My life would be so much better.
My life would be so much better.
But here I am,
But here I am.
and it's not true.
And it's not true.
It's not the way I thought it would be,
It's not the way I thought it would be.
and I'm not sure why.
And I'm not sure why.
Where do I go from here?
Where do I go from here?
What does this tell me about my future?
What does this tell me about my future?
Having the opportunity is not all I needed.
Having the opportunity is not all I needed.
What did I get wrong?
What did I do wrong?
Did I get something wrong?
Did I get something wrong?
I'm not sure if I got something wrong.
I'm not sure if I got something wrong.
I'm not sure where I'm at right now.
I'm not sure where
I am not sure where I'm at right now.
I'm not sure where to go.
And I thought I'm an introvert who likes to journal.
I thought I'm an introvert who likes to journal.
And choose to be okay with the disappointment.
I choose to be okay with the disappointment.
That I'm not that much different now
But I'm not that much different now
than I was when all this started.
than I was when all this started.
Think about it. How does it feel?
It definitely feels true. It feels like, I had expected great things when this started and haven't really gotten what I was expecting.
Okay. Just show of hands, do other people feel the same way? Kind of like, what was this for? Like, okay, I thought, yeah, karate chop point, even though I didn't change as much as I thought I would.
Even though I didn't change as much as I thought I would.
Maybe I just hunkered down,
Maybe I just hunkered down.
but I'm still not taking good care of myself.
I'm still not taking good care of myself.
And if I do, it still feels the same.
And if I do, it still feels the same.
Even if I do more, it doesn't feel that different.
And if I do more, it doesn't feel that different.
It's confusing somehow.
It's confusing somehow.
What's going on here?
What's going on here?
What does this tell me about myself?
And what does this tell me about myself?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
But I choose to take it one step at a time.
But I choose to take it one step at a time.
And even though I've always believed
And even though I've always believed,
that if only I get my chance
if only I get my chance
to live my life the way I want to,
my chance to live my life the way I want to,
I'd know exactly what I want to do.
I'd know exactly what I want to do.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
And I would immediately do it.
And I'd immediately do it.
I would finally be free
I'd finally be free
to do the things I want to do.
to do the things I want to do.
I always thought that.
I always thought that.
Somehow I always felt held back by circumstances.
Somehow I always felt held back by other circumstances.
I thought that the circumstances don't allow me to live the way I want to.
I thought that circumstances didn't allow me to live the life I wanted to.
And here I am.
And here I am.
The circumstances are perfect.
The circumstances are perfect.
And I'm not doing what I thought I would.
And I'm not doing what I thought I would.
So I'm open to wondering
So I'm open to wondering
what this tells me about who I thought I need to be.
what this tells me about who I thought I needed to be.
And even though it could well be
And even though it could well be
that the circumstances did not stop me as much as I thought they did,
that the circumstances did not stop me as much as I thought they did,
that nothing can stop me from being myself,
that nothing can stop me from being myself,
and that I don't need to be completely different in order to be me,
that I don't need to be completely different in order to be me,
that I don't need outside permission or opportunity,
and I don't need outside permission or opportunity.
like the whole world shutting down an epidemic.
The whole world shutting down in an epidemic.
That I finally started to journal.
To finally start to journal.
Maybe it's not like that.
Maybe it's not like that.
Maybe it was never like that.
Maybe it was never like that.
Maybe I didn't realize that I can do what I want to do.
Maybe I didn't realize that I could do what I wanted to do.
That I just have to make a decision.
I just have to make a decision,
Real decision.
a real decision,
Solid decision.
a solid decision.
To be happy in my life.
Be happy enough
To invite happiness into my life.
to invite happiness into my life.
To not worry about things that didn't make me happy.
Not worry about things that didn't make me happy.
Because it wasn't their job to make me happy.
Because it wasn't their job to make me happy.
It's my job to make me happy.
It's my job to make me happy.
I can't wait for others
And can't wait for others
to do my job for me.
to do my job for me.
But it's true, people have wronged me
But it's true, people have wronged me
and taken time from me
and taken time from me
and done things to me they should have never been allowed to do.
and done things to me they should have never been allowed to do to me.
That is all true.
That is all true.
There's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt about it.
I'm still here.
Still here.
And it's my job
It's my job
to live this life
to live this life
and invite happiness into my life.
and invite happiness into my life.
It's not the things that are over
It's not things that are over
that determine how I live.
that determine how I live.
It's not the things that happened way back
It's not the things that happen way back
that decide who I live in the future.
that decide how I live in the future
They're already done.
or they end.
They gave me some lessons.
They gave me some lessons.
They taught me who I am,
They taught me who I am
taught me who I'm not.
and who I'm not.
And some of those things,
And some of those things,
quite frankly, were awful
quite frankly, were awful
and horrible.
and horrible.
They were unfair and there's nothing good about them.
They were unfair, but there's nothing I can do about them.
And some of those things
And some of those things
triggered me to step up
triggered me to step up
and find out what I would do,
and find out what I would do,
no matter who says no.
no matter who says no.
And here I am,
And here I am,
deciding how much I want to journal,
deciding how much I want to journal,
deciding how much I want to do what I thought I should do.
deciding how much I want to do whatever I want to do.
And now I have the freedom to do it
And now I have the freedom to do it
without believing that anybody's watching.
without believing that anybody's watching.
Nobody's watching me.
Nobody's watching me.
Nobody's judging me.
Nobody's judging me.
Nobody's holding me back.
Nobody's holding me back.
I invite happiness into my life.
I invite happiness into my life.
Take a breath. How does it feel?
It feels good. I think I definitely need to make the decision and, to stop dwelling on things in the past and stop dwelling on other
You
circumstances.
don't need
And,
to, but you can.
yeah.
You don't need to do anything. You can do whatever you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can
Right.
dwell on this all you want.
Yeah.
Right? Just go for it. Just write it all up and say, and just by the way, here's another thing to dwell. And then you make a conscious decision to go ahead and dwell.
Mhm.
Okay? But dwell, like seriously dwell. Like, look at this. This happened and this sucks and this is wrong and this is why it's wrong. And then you sit down and you dwell. Dwell all you need. Right? Okay, karate chopin, even though I'm dwelling on things.
Even though I'm dwelling on things,
They've been haunting me.
it's been haunting me.
They've really been haunting me.
They've really been haunting me.
And one of the reasons they've been haunting me
And one of the reasons they've been haunting me
is because nobody ever really understood how that felt
is because nobody really understood how I felt
and what that all meant to me.
and what that all meant to me.
It was never really, I could never really be honest about it
I could never really be honest about it
and know that people 100% understand me.
and know that people would 100% understand.
So it's dwelling on me.
So it's dwelling on me.
I know that I'm right.
I know that I'm right.
I know that I'm right.
And I know that I'm right.
It was not okay.
It was not okay.
And I can prove that.
And I can't.
And if only I had an opportunity to explain it,
And if only I had an opportunity to explain it,
maybe people would finally understand.
maybe people would finally understand.
I can move on with my life.
And I can move on with my life.
And I've spent years hoping that that's true,
And I've spent years hoping that that's true,
even though it may not be.
even though it may not be.
And even though there may be a part of me,
And even though there may be a part of me,
has always believed that if somebody finally gets it,
that's always believed that if somebody finally gets it,
I can be free.
anything,
I can be free.
I can be free.
If somebody finally understands,
If someone finally understands,
I have the freedom to let it go.
I have the freedom to let it go.
I can't let it go before.
I can't let it go before.
But when that thing happens,
But when that thing happens,
that feeling of being witnessed,
that feeling of being witnessed,
that feeling of being understood,
that feeling of being understood,
and people really honestly and truthfully having my back,
and people honestly and truthfully having my back
the way they should have had it, they should have had my back when this happened.
the way they should have had it when this happened.
Somehow I believe that if that came into my life,
Somehow I believe that if that came into my life,
everything would change.
everything would change.
I could completely let this go
I completely let this go
and just live my new life,
and live my new life,
my real life,
my real life,
the life I was designed to live,
the life I was designed to,
the life that I was stopped from living when this happened.
the life I was stopped from living when this happened.
Somehow
Somehow
I've established that belief.
I was damaged from,
And I established that belief,
and I established that belief,
and I know that I'm right.
and I know that I'm right.
And if one person, if people finally understand and have my back,
If people finally understand and have my back,
everything will be different.
everything would be different.
And until then,
And until then,
I'm going to continue to feel resentful and triggered.
I'm going to continue to prevent.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. So there we go.
There we go.
Until I get what I want,
Until I get what I want,
I am not going to live the way I want.
I'm not going to live the way I want.
I want somebody to have my back.
I wanted somebody to have my back.
I want somebody to have my back in the right way.
I want somebody to have my back in the right way.
I want it to be perfect.
I want it to be comforted.
And I want it to be perfect.
I want it to be perfect.
The big reveal about my past.
The big reveal about my past.
The big reveal about what happened to me.
The big reveal about what happened to me.
It needs to be perfect.
Needs to be perfect.
People need to say, oh my God, you poor thing.
I want people to say, oh my God, you had to do that.
Oh my God, you poor thing.
Oh my God, you poor thing.
Oh my God, this happened to you.
Oh my God, this happened to you.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I am so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's mind blowing.
That's my.
How did you ever get through this?
How did you ever get through this?
How did you ever survive this?
How did you ever survive this?
It blows my mind that this happened to you.
It blows my mind that this happened to you.
I would have never even guessed that.
I would have never even guessed that.
Never seemed like somebody who has been through so much.
Never seemed like someone who's been through so much.
And I'm sorry I didn't realize it.
I'm sorry I didn't realize it.
I'm sorry I didn't know what you've been through in your life.
I'm sorry I didn't know what you've been through.
And if I had known it, I would have made a difference for you.
And if I had known it, I would have made a difference for
I
you.
would have stood up for you.
I would have stood up for you.
I would have smacked a few people around probably
And people around for you.
and tell them to stop
And tell them to stop
and protect you
and protect you.
and stop it once and for all.
And stop it once and for all.
I'm sorry I wasn't there,
I'm sorry I wasn't there.
but I see you.
But I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
I'm sure there's even more to that story.
I'm sure there's even more to that story.
I'm sure that even more happened than what you just told me.
I'm sure that even more happened than you just told me.
After what I'm just learning, how could it not?
After what I'm just learning, how could it not?
And I'm so, so sorry that that was your life.
Man, I'm so, so sorry that that was your life.
So here I go,
So here I go,
living my life,
living my life,
knowing that somebody cares
knowing that somebody cares.
and what they really care about.
And what they really care about.
It's not just the details of what happened,
It's not just the details of what happened,
but the truth is,
but the truth is,
they actually care about me.
they actually care about me.
Take it back. You guys want to open up the mics? How are you feeling?
Good.
What is good?
Yeah, it felt good to tap on that.
Did others resonate with this? Anybody not resonates with this? Kind of what we do. So often we spend our life waiting for somebody to get us, thinking that after they get us, everything will be different. And the truth is, it's not. It's not different. We're still strong. We're still survivors. We still figured our shit out. We still live our life. We still sit on the same chair, eating the same food, doing the same stuff. Because that's our life and our choice. And that we can change without anybody's permission. We can even decide to be happy even if the whole world is crap. Right? And the reason we know that is because there's bunches of little children right now who are having a blast. So the question then becomes, if that was true, that we don't need somebody's permission to be happy, and that we get to decide what makes us happy today, whether it's a massive, birthday dinner for a big ass birthday, or if it's Aldi pizza on the sideboard. Either way, if we get to decide which one it is, then there's a lot of power in it. And I think that's what the future is going to bring. We just need to make decisions. Which part of our life is going to make us happy right now? Is it the gratitude for one, or the relief about the other, or the feeling victorious about how whatever it is? We just need to decide which part of our happy life we want to make us happy right now. Right? Is it the gratitude that certain things are, haven't hit us yet? Is it the gratitude that they haven't hit somebody else? Is it the gratitude that whatever? Is it the excitement that the news are bringing something we wanted to hear? Or, we need to decide what makes us happy today. And I think that's where the freedom comes in. And if there isn't much to choose from, then we have to choose the little things. But that's all we can do. I don't know what else we can do. We can be very grateful that we don't have to be in a store. If we have to be in a store, we can be very grateful that we have a job. I mean, what are we going to do? And that does not depend on others. That's my opinion. Please do share. I don't want to preach you. That's not my thing. I'm just an extrovert. So open up the mics, talk to me. What are your thoughts? Or talk to each other for that matter. Not to me.
I feel quite peaceful right now.
You've been sitting there the whole time smiling. I just got to tell you, your energy has changed. Hold on. Do you guys see that? Those of you who know that a little bit? You're smiling. It's nice to see. Yeah. Powerful. So, I believe there is another piece to this that we should always keep in mind. And that is that just because there are rules doesn't mean there aren't exceptions. Okay? And just because there are certain ways of doing things or certain ways that things need to be done, that means that all of that always applies to you in its entirety. You got to find your way through this labyrinth of situations. Sometimes it takes a little research. Sometimes it takes a little organizing. Sometimes it just takes a determination to find a loophole. There are ways of creating a life for yourself that that people might not tell you about, but that's out there, right? And it's important, especially in these times of survival and getting through stuff and keeping ourselves safe, that we find those. And those who are the most resourceful will live the best life. I want to give you an example because we just found this out actually yesterday. So you know that Americans are not welcome in Europe anymore. Right? We've heard about that. And that's going to stay like that for a while, right? For good reason, because it's just everybody in Europe has a mask. It's just not, and people aren't sick over there. They're not. They know what they're doing, and they're, and Americans clearly don't. So Americans aren't welcome. My daughter is still here. She has a German passport, so she's allowed back. But she's supposed to self-quarantine for 2 weeks in her dorm, right? Which is kind of a mess as a student to sit in the summer in a dorm room for 2 weeks, not being allowed to leave the room. We found out that the state we live in is one of only 10 states in the entire country that is exempt from this rule. And nobody knew that because everybody says Americans are not allowed in. Or if you're German and you're allowed in, then you need to self-quarantine. But not New Hampshire, and not Connecticut, and not Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, right? So we do whatever the hell we need to do to get out of the country before that changes, right? This would not have happened if we hadn't really sat down and said, is it really like this? Or is what's the full situation here, Are there resources that we can dig into? Is there something I don't know right now? Right? Are there ways around this? Is there a better way to do something? And that resiliency to find ways is extremely important. It's going to become even more important. To know where the resources are, to know who has what, to know what can be done, to know the right people, for the introverts in the room, to connect with the people that you want to meet in 6 months from now and find out how they live their life, right? And just go for it. Create that life, right? Everything seems to be so, yeah, I want to say black and white, and then I realized that might even be a political statement, but you know what I mean it this way. It's just weird. And it's not like, it doesn't have to be that way for us. We can still color with a whole palette. Would you agree? Yeah. So what are your thoughts for until next week? What do you guys want to do? What are your hopes and dreams? And you're welcome to unmute and just, what are your hopes and dreams? If this whole situation turned out to be just another part of your life, and you get to decide what you want to do with it, and then look back and say, yep, that was 2020. And I don't know why people keep calling me. Yes. What do you want to do? Where are you at? You're welcome to unmute phones, Zoom calls.
I signed up to be part of a virtual scavenger hunt.
You're a part of a virtual scavenger hunt?
Yes, it's for the week that I should have been at the Cumberland Music and Dance Camp, but of course we're not having it. So instead, those people are the people who wanted to have joined up in teams and were supposed to do crazy stuff all week and then submit it to the group, and it's all kinds of silly things like composing tunes and making quilt squares and putting the stuff together with whatever you've got around the house and then taking a picture and sending it to people. And anyhow, it's crazy, but I think it'll be fun.
Fun. Good for you. So that's going to make you happy.
Yeah, it's gonna, and I'll get to connect with these people that I haven't seen for 2 years. And yeah, and I'll be creating things.
That sounds awesome. Fabulous. Well, you need to let us know how that goes.
Okay. Send you a photo.
Yeah, put it in the, you can go to the Facebook, to my Facebook page as well, and just post stuff there. Good for you. Cool. So where are you, where are you guys at right now? Is this a good time to stop? Was this helpful? Are there things you need to process? Are there things you need support with? What's going on for you right now? Judy, where are you at right now?
It's just, there's a lot going on in my mind right now. Right now I want to deal with the bee problem in my apartment. That's killing my ability to focus.
Yeah.
We're getting really close to them. It's funny, I want them to deal with this problem because it's out of hand. On the other hand, it was a metaphor. It was the perfect metaphor. All these bees coming into my apartment made me realize I'm allowing all these externals to affect my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something else happened in the last little while. I used to be a writer before my health issues, and there was a writing intensive that's starting in about a month or so, and I'm not going to take it because I know I can't do it. It's an intensive. But it made me realize, okay, I may not be able to do the intensive, but I could do the writing on my own time. Even if I block 20 minutes in a day when I'm not chasing down bees and letting them go outside before it's dealt with. It's like I can find 20 minutes in one day. And, along with all the speakers I've been listening to, because I've made a point that, COVID, I'm not going to just sit at home and watch TV. That's not me. I don't even have cable. I made a point of, listening to speakers to be inspired and for ideas. And I'm going, okay, if I was that upset that I couldn't do the intensive, that's a sign it's time to start writing. You know, it's time to start.
Judy, this may or may not be right for you. I'm going to say it anyways, and you can decide if I'm off the mark or not. Maybe. I would like to challenge you to do the intensive, because that's who you are, and the rest is just bees. It doesn't mean you have to finish, but at least you can start, and you get to decide when you, and you get to decide when you want to stop, and you get to decide when you need a break, and you get to decide what the outcome is going to be. Nobody can tell you what the intensive is going to do for you other than you. But the rest is just bees. So think about it, you know, and I hear you on the ups and downs and the whole thing and whatnot. I get that, right? I get the health issues too. There is a moment at which that shall not decide who we want to be in our life. And if what you get out of intensive is a page and a half of well-written story, I don't know what the intensive is about, then that's what you get out of it because you're Judy. Right? And that's because you decided after whatever that is, that this is the end of that. You will not write more. You don't want to, you can't do whatever, but you make the decision. You decide that. And not the bees or the health or the body or the house or the whatever else it is. You make that decision. And who knows? Sometimes it heals the soul in ways that we don't even know. And we look back and say, whoa, I never thought I had to have it in me. I always thought that everything needs to hold me back right now just because it can. And it clearly can. I mean, these are awful. And other things are awful, there's no doubt. Just sit with it. I don't know how that feels. You decide. And you may decide against it. It may not just totally not be okay or not working out. But think about it. What do you think?
I'm processing what you're saying. It's interesting because when I talked to my intern, my naturopath a week ago, and I told her, you know, I went through all these emotions, and then I realized as I was talking to her, it wasn't even so. It was like, how do I put it? It was like somebody took not a match but a torch under my butt and made me realize it's time to write. And instead of having to show up and go by other people's rules, because I've never been that person. I mean, when I started a magazine with somebody years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. I just learned it as I went. That's just how and I realized, okay, it wasn't the intensive. I thought I wanted the intensive. I just want to give myself permission to write.
But you have permission to write, and you're not writing.
Sorry?
You have permission to write, and you're not writing. And there's something to be said. And I'm just saying that you don't have to agree with it, and you don't have to do it. That's not what I'm.
Oh no, I totally understand.
But I see you. I saw you literally exploding in thought and in process and in revelation and in realization and in sorting things out and in processing things. And this came and that came and the other. There were so many things that were coming. Sometimes we need to write for an audience and not just for ourselves. And sometimes we need to write with others or do whatever it is with others, not just for ourselves. There's a difference between playing piano for yourself and playing piano with others. Mm-hmm. Or singing a song for yourself and singing a song with others. And it's a very different way of showing up, because what we talked about before, remember that very often of an aspect of the trauma that we are almost unable to process is the fact that we didn't have a witness when we were doing it. There was nobody there to see how hard it was. There was nobody there to welcome us on the other side and said, you did it, you're done, now you can forget about this. There was nobody there. If we play music in our living room where nobody's there to hear it, as soon as it stops, we just shut the piano. And writing and your way of writing and your way of expressing will grow, I believe. And I may be wrong. Again, I have no business of telling you what to do with your life and the next, but as you feel, as you put your writing and your thoughts and who you are into the context of other people using their writing and their thoughts and who they are, it will create something that we cannot create ourselves. And we can be curious what that is. And if your contribution is a page and a half on a Monday afternoon between 2 and 3:30, then that's what that is. But it's your choice. And you have it in you. If you didn't have it in you, you wouldn't have thought about doing it. And if the bees come in, maybe that's the time to just drop the pen and say, I think I'm good now. Or maybe it's the time to say, I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm writing or whatever. But I think you can do it. And having a witness is a good thing. It's necessary for most of us. Remember that when we were kids, one of the hardest things is when people said, shut up. Like your voice isn't important. You're not allowed to talk. We don't want to hear you. That's one of the most traumatic things ever. Yeah, this is your opportunity to change that. Writing for yourself is like writing, like being a kid running into our own room and crying it out. Hoping that somebody's on the other side of the door who can hear us. Just know that we're hurting, but not being able to do anything about it because we're not sharing. See what happens. See what feels right. Maybe it's not for you. Sound good?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, ladies and gents, I think we're good for today. Any other feedback before we hang up the Zoom?
I want to thank you for providing this opportunity for us. And seriously, thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ingrid.
I'm gonna go and post this and
Thank you, Ingrid.
post. Yeah, you're welcome.
It's like a shot in the arm, a booster shot, because you hear it, you feel it, you take it in, and then you go, and a little as time goes on, you go right back to what you know. And this consistency, it's like getting a shot that says, oh yeah, you remember there's a different way to be. So
We
thank you.
don't need to get through the beginning of the crisis. Everybody by now is well educated to know what is ahead of us. We are very well educated. We've been through this for months. We know exactly what's going to happen in Texas. We know exactly what's going to happen in the states that are so impacted. We know exactly what it's going to do. There's nothing that is new to us right now, right? And we will have to figure out where we're at in this picture, the difference that we want to make and what we want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what came out today. It's really this, oh my God, I always thought I would do this. So I thought this is my way of doing things. I have the freedom to do whatever the hell I want. Always did, but I couldn't use it. Maybe now I can, right? So I love you guys. Please spread the word. It would be nice if our group grows. That was intended for this group to become a bigger group and not a small, tiny little, because the people that find themselves into the group need to be here. And if they don't know about it, they can't be here. And that's kind of on you guys as well to just bring other people in. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.